Live-action Cowboy Bebop has been a disaster from the start, and it was no surprise when they announced they weren't doing a season 2, but the people behind the show can't accept the fact that people didn't like it and it got canceled because they've decided to go on social media and go into interviews talking about how terrible it is that people won't get to experience the second season and how trolls were too harsh on the show's content. I have a bunch of different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I wanted to start off with this Bounding into Comics article, and then I want to move into a Hollywood Reporter article. It says Netflix's Cowboy Bebop script coordinator claims audiences are missing out on canceled season 2, previously revealed the show was inspired by radical left-wing YouTuber. Now, when it comes to season 1, there just wasn't a lot there. There were moments where it felt like Cowboy Bebop, like they were really trying to capture the original and the characters, but unfortunately, 90% of the content that was there was just not very good. A lot of the acting was poor, the interactions between the characters weren't amazing at times, the sets looked really cheap, I didn't like the outfit changes. Overall, I wasn't a fan of season 1, so where was the good content in season 1 to make people want to see a season 2? I truly don't see it. I don't see a lot with season 1 that would make me go, you know what? I'm excited for a second season of the series. The original anime will always be the best. I didn't think that a live action could top it, and I definitely wasn't wrong. Hot on the heels of its cancellation, the script coordinator for Netflix's Cowboy Bebop recently took to Twitter to tease that audiences were missing out on a second season of the series, only to cry victim when met with criticism from fans who, having seen the results of the unsurprisingly awful first season, expressed extreme doubt in her claim. It says, Marksman's turnabout came as part of a series of tweets made in lamentation of the abysmal live-action adaptation's cancellation, which began on December 9th with her declaration, not to rub it in your faces, but as the individual who has read the Cowboy Bebop Season 2 scripts more than anyone else in this world, fuck, you're missing out. Now, I personally hate when people do this, when they're affiliated with a project and then they go on social media saying stuff like this, oh, not to rub it in your faces, but you're really missing out, because of course it's rubbing it in people's faces. It's trying to make people upset, it's trying to make people jealous, it's trying to get talk around the project, because they're hoping that people who liked season 1 will go on social media and tag Netflix and go on Rotten Tomatoes and leave it 5-star reviews saying, we really wish there was a season 2, because that's the only way a show like this could get greenlit for another season at this point, like a Manifest situation. A show got canceled, another Netflix decided to pick it up, and now they're doing another season because fans really liked the first couple of seasons, so now they're doing a final one. That's what they're hoping is going to happen here, that Netflix will see all of the upset fans going on social media saying there should be a second season, and that maybe a second season will get greenlit, and in my opinion, I just do not think that it's going to happen. I actually had a little bit of a theory that this whole cancellation is just a big stunt, that maybe Netflix is kind of iffy with it right now, so they're saying, oh, it's officially canceled to try to get people upset, and then in a couple weeks they're going to say, you know what, we're listening to fans and we're going to do a season 2. I truly and genuinely thought at first they were going to do just the 2 seasons, because let's be honest, they only need one more season to finish the original story, and I expected them to greenlight season 2 when they got the rights to the live action. They have the original anime on their service now, and it seemed like they were going to make this big deal out of Cowboy Bebop, but Netflix apparently saw it as a flop and they're not going to pay for another season, which of course is hilarious. It says, though, after facing pushback from audiences, many of whom asked if season 2 was so great, where was that supposed talent in season 1, she asked the very same people she previously antagonized, my dear troll friends, you do realize that literally hundreds of people lost their jobs today, right? Jobs we loved and cared about. We're gonna be emotional. Also, most if not all of us found out today with the public. Now, my problem with this statement is how she's trying to guilt people. First of all, she calls people trolls, which is absolutely ridiculous. Just because people disagree with you and dislike your show doesn't mean you should go on social media and attack them and call them trolls. That's a giant reason why people didn't want to support this project, because someone like Daniela Pineda, one of the main actresses, went on social media and attacked fans for wanting anime-accurate costumes with characters. But the second part of this is a problem. She's saying you do realize that hundreds of people lost their jobs today, right? Yes, unfortunately, a lot of people did lose their jobs, but clearly there was only one season that was greenlit and one season that everyone signed for, so everyone knew right off the bat, well, we're only going to be doing one season. Maybe there will be a second season if the first one goes well, and clearly it just didn't go well. This is just the way the industry works. People are hired for one specific project, and then they, after that, have to find other projects to work on. She further attempted to deflect, just because you don't like the food at a restaurant doesn't mean you would celebrate when it closes down. You wouldn't mock the waiters or chefs. I beg you to touch some grass and give someone you love a hug. Now, this is the problem, is that when it comes to places like restaurants, if the food is bad, if the service is bad, you simply don't go back. You do not give them your money again. But with a company like Netflix and platforms like Hulu and Paramount Plus and HBO Max, if one show is bad, most people don't cancel. They continue to give them chances and try to find content on their platforms. So the thing is that while yes, you wouldn't go on social media most of the time and mock waiters or chefs, you could go on social media and leave negative reviews just like you could for Cowboy Bebop and Netflix. People simply didn't like this show. You're gonna have to get over it at some point. If this show was genuinely good, more people would have watched it. More people would have rated it positively, and it would have got greenlit for another season. But unfortunately, it just wasn't what people wanted, and we all knew that it probably wasn't going to turn out to be amazing. We, for months, saw kind of the issues that were piling up with it. We saw actresses going on social media, insulting fans just like this person has. We saw the trailers that didn't look good. We saw the mediocre sets, the mediocre acting. For months, they let us on with Ed, not telling us, is Ed going to be in the series? Is Ed not going to be in this series? But for the people who wanted a second season, it does suck that it's not getting another one. But for me, I'm not very heartbroken over it. Of course, though, Marksman's seeming inability to recognize why Cowboy Bebop was near universally rejected by everyone comes as no surprise, given how, previously, she revealed that a scene involving their gender-swapped version of Gren was inspired by a commentary video made by trans woman and popular far-left YouTube commentator Natalie ContraPoints Win. According to the script's coordinator, a scene in which Gren cringe-inducingly addresses guests at the jazz club, shown in Shoujo and All You Dirty, Dirty Folks in Between, was a direct homage to a moment in one of Win's videos, What's Wrong with Capitalism, in which the commentator jokes, glamour is very important to us, the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, and all those filthy, filthy Q's. Again, people didn't watch this Cowboy Bebop live-action adaptation to hear references like this and to get commentary like this. People wanted to watch it to see if it could live up to the original, if it could respect the original source material, and of course it didn't. They threw in references like this. No one liked them. They didn't come across well, and people were disappointed with the product for reasons like this. But going on over to the next article, it says Cowboy Bebop team reacts to Netflix cancellation, had so much cool shit planned. One of the writers said, "I truly loved working on this. It came from a real and pure place of respect and affection. I wish we could make what we planned for a second season, but you know what they say, men plan, God laughs, see you, Space Cowboy." Now, hilariously, this writer actually has me blocked on social media. I found this out last night. I said the Cowboy Bebop writer who said we need to have a real human being wearing Faye's outfit blocked me apparently. I didn't see anyone else say that their accounts were blocked, so it didn't seem to be like a chain block, which is hilarious. He also had said things like, "The one nice thing about tweeting about the cancellation of Bebop is that it's one more bite at the block toxic fans with extreme prejudice apple. This is why your show got canceled. This is why people didn't watch your show and why people didn't like your show, because you have writers going on social media attacking people that didn't like it. You've got them blocking individuals that just simply didn't like the content they created. Overall, it's just a really disappointing situation to see happen because I didn't want them to revive Cowboy Bebop just to ruin it. Unfortunately, though, we got really bad content." But cast member Mason, who played Gren, said, "It was a joy to work with you. But as you can see, people that are part of this project are really upset, but they're trying to make people jealous by saying things like, oh, we had so much cool shit planned, we had so many exciting ideas, not to rub it in your faces, but audiences are missing out." They're clearly trying to make people jealous so that they'll go on social media and maybe get the show uncanceled. Maybe Netflix will see, people are really excited, so we should do a second season. But judging by the ratings, this show isn't going to get another season. The ratings haven't really gone up since the cancellation. When it was canceled, it actually went up by 2 or 3% over on Rotten Tomatoes from some people reverse review bombing it, trying to raise that score so maybe Netflix would renew it, but it hasn't really moved since then. It's sitting at a 46% critic and a 56% audience, and I agree with these scores. The show wasn't great. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but at the same time, it wasn't perfect by any means, and if they came out with a season 2, I'd be worried about what they'd mess up in that season. But that's all that I really had to talk about in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.